Hey guys, it's Cerulean Jake bringing to you another project. Now, recently I just recorded Pikmin 1 and got it all uploaded, and I received a request to do Pikmin 2, so I decided to hop right on that rather than waiting. After all, I love this game, and honestly, I can do it whenever. So, let's hop right into it. So, Pikmin 2 has some major changes. There's a different concept of what they really want you doing to complete the game. So it's going to pick up right where we left off. We crash land on a planet. That's Pikmin 1. We meet some creatures called Pikmin. They help us rebuild our ship. And off we go. By the way, if anyone was questioning whether we are on Earth or not, there's Africa. So, when we return to the Hakatat, however we want to pronounce it, transportation company, not all is well. From this point forward, they should be able to explain things pretty well in the subtitles, so I will leave it up to Pikmin to do so. I'm going to focus on what I'm talking about. So, this game, like I said, it handles things quite differently. And I'll get into that when we actually get to what we're supposed to pick up. What I want to say right off the bat is to those of you who did not enjoy Pikmin 1 or just were never wanting to play it because, you know, I don't want to get caught up in the rush to get everything done. 30 days, that's all I got. Well, actually, this game doesn't have a time limit. You can play for as many days as you want. Now, I think you saw from what I had, there's, what did I have? It was somewhere in the ballpark of like 15 days, it was. So, you definitely don't have to spend a ton of time, and there's significantly more things to collect. But you'll see why that doesn't really change. It doesn't really change the fact we're not going to be spending tons and tons of days. We're not going to go well over 30 days just because of how the sheer amount of things we need to collect. There's a certain mechanic that is introduced later into the game that will actually, it'll make a whole lot of sense why we're able to pick up a lot more in a single day. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Going back on what I was talking about before, yeah, I got a request to play this game, and I was thinking about playing this in the near future anyway. It's not like, for you who's watching, you're the one who requested it. I wouldn't worry about like pressuring me into playing this. I was planning on doing it pretty soon, so it's definitely not a big deal, and I'm going to be having fun with this. For those of you who are aware of my history, this is actually my second time Let's playing this game. As a matter of fact, Pikmin 2 was my first ever fully completed Let's Play. It wasn't the first game I ever attempted to Let's Play, but it was the first one that I completed, and let me tell you, the quality is garbage. Oh man, there's a reason I don't plug it. I will mention that it exists, and I haven't deleted it off of YouTube, but I will not plug it because I don't want people going back and watching that. And not only do you have to listen to young me talk, which I'm not a huge fan of, but you also, like, the quality, it's just so unwatchable. That was close. I have averted a crash landing, running diagnostics. Alert! Danger! Louis is missing. He must have somehow fallen out of his cockpit. He is not responding via his communication or communicator. He is either flouting protocol or in danger. Olimar, you must find Louis before he freezes to death in the cold of this planet. Wait a moment. Look! Could these be Pikmin? They look like they are about to be devoured as we speak. Help them! Use L to put the cursor near... Oh my god, buttons. I hate it when they talk about buttons in the text. Look at them and whistle them. You can also hold to make the sound of your whistle carry farther, remember? I do, yes. I've played this game Lord knows how many times. As a matter of fact, if I wasn't spinning the cursor around, I actually could have started throwing Pikmin already. The Pikmin ran to your side. They seem to remember you, Captain Olimar. How fascinating. Give them instructions and do not delay. Hold, to grab a Pikmin, then throw it. Wow. Crazy. Attention, Captain Olimar. I have just re-established my communications link with Louis. It is fortunate we have managed to confirm his safety. Press E to communicate with him. I am quite interested in the details of his condition. So that is one of the interesting gimmicks of this game, is that Pikmin 2 adds in a second captain for you to play as. Louis, allow me to assess your condition. As per our safety protocols, are you at all injured? Is that so? Then my concerns are eased. Our communications link between shows you are nearby. Can you make your way to our location and rejoin us? I will navigate for you. I don't know how to... Press to contact me and obtain information about the terrain. So yeah, you get to play as not one, but two captains, and while this may sound overwhelming to begin with, do not worry. It is not. I'll get into how to use two captains in a little bit. Louis, the odd object before you appears to be one of the onions mentioned in Olimar's report. The seed the onion ejected just sprouted. According to Olimar's report, it can be plucked with A. I suppose I didn't do the noise, but whatever. Louis, this must be one of the Pikmin creatures from Olimar's report. It is staring at you. Press to throw a Pikmin where you want it to take action. A squad of them can do a lot. Okay, you can disband it with X, and yes, they can do a lot of things. And Louis is drooling from his mouth. If you guys didn't pick up on it because you weren't paying too much attention to the story, we're in debt because a lot of golden pick carrots were devoured that Louis was transporting back to Hakatot. And his story is that a large space rabbit devoured them. Louis ate them. I was gonna say it's heavily implied that Louis ate them. No, he ate them. So that's why we're here. This is all Louis' fault. The onion ejected more seeds, pellets, and nutrients to breed Pikmin, and I can get more Pikmin and do exactly what you did in the last game. Throw. Alright. So, like in the last game, I enjoy trying to be efficient. Now, I'm not necessarily going to be the most efficient player in the world. You can definitely get this entire game done pretty quick if you know what you're doing. I do know what I'm doing as a general rule, but I am not a professional, so I would not count on that. It'll be much like my Pikmin 1 Let's Play, where I will be going relatively quickly, about as fast as I can go. Since we're seeing this, this is the main collectible of the game. Not batteries, but just treasures. Interestingly enough, since this is a remake of this game, in the original version, this used to be a Duracell. Now it's just like generic brand electric super battery power. It's just a battery. So I guess they lost the licensing deals. So I don't know what the case is here, but anyway, this is one of the main uses of having two captains, is you can come at objectives from different sides sometimes, and you have stuff like this where it's a paper bag and you need to weigh it down to get access to each other. So now I threw all of Louis' Pikmin up there. I need more, so we're gonna take Olimar's Pikmin, throw them up there, and that will depress the paper bag. And now that we are together, we can work together. So, the first day has no time limit. It is a tutorial day, so take your time. But if you want to be fast about it, then get 6 Pikmin on that so they can take it back and populate more Pikmin. Throw the rest of your Pikmin onto this battery, and then just run over here and wait. That's it. That's all there is to the day. Once you get that battery back, then the day ends. Don't worry about not getting the nutrients back in time to make more Pikmin. They can't lift it. The only reason you wanted to throw them at it early is because you wanted them to dig it out of the ground. That's going to be a running theme in this game, is there's a lot of treasures that are kind of buried into the ground. You need to dig them up before you can even transport them. Most of them will be poking out, and you can see them so you can dig them out. There will be some strange cases where some items are completely buried, and you'll see how we deal with that in the future. So we got the rest of the Pikmin we need. We can go ahead and pluck them out. Now, if you have more than one captain with you, then you can pluck at double speed, unless the AI is really dumb. So let's go ahead and get 10 Pikmin on here. Transport that back, and we're done with the day. Just gotta wait for it to get back. So, the main structure for this game, it's gonna be a little different. You see, I'm gonna have to be a little more disciplined in how I record each day, because with the new mechanic of the game that we will be showing in the next day, we won't be showing it this day. With the new mechanic, days can last a really, really long time. And I don't feel like having, like, this day is going to be about 16, 17 minutes long, or this episode. Whereas in the future, we're going to have an hour and a half worth of a day, right? So I don't want that to be the case. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick times that make the most sense to me to go into the next day. And that's how we're going to handle it. Alright, so when you pick up a treasure, not only will you be able to see the value you have, you'll also be able to see the total that it counts toward paying off your debt. You'll be able to spin it around and take a look at it at all different angles. And you'll also get a fun little nickname that the computer gives it. So we have the Courage Reactor. Our first day of exploration has yielded our first treasure. We will be done in record time. Well, we could if you let us keep going, but you're gonna cut off the day for us. Anyway, he's just talking about, yeah, we should get off the planet because nocturnal creatures, they're not nice. I just noticed that. Is Louie's head poking out of his cockpit? Oh, you know what? I bet it is because his cockpit broke when we hit that branch. Yeah. Today's report. Got some good money. All of this is completely predetermined. You will be... There is no possible way to lose Pikmin. I know there was an enemy you had to fight, but he actually cannot eat Pikmin. So the first day is completely safe, nothing to be worried about. So not only can you check out your Pikmin growth rates, but you can also check out your Pikmin death rates. You can see what they all died to. Battle, sunset, fire, water, electricity, explosion, and poison. You see that there's a lot more to worry about in this game than there was in the last one. But it's all not a big deal. Also, at the end of every day, you get an email from back home. Today, we got an email from the president. You found your first bit of treasure. Fine work. That's not the president. He's got like a type of voice. You found your first treasure. Fine work. Our future depends on your efforts, so check your treasure hoard regularly. I'll check in often. Keep up the pace. I wouldn't say I'm very good at that voice, but it's close enough. So he says to check our treasure hoard regularly, which we can do, but I'm gonna be honest, this is pretty boring. You just look at the treasure sitting on the ground. It's like, neat. You can also check out Olimar's journal, and I mean, he tells you about the treasure, which again, neat. What's more interesting is if we press right again, we can go to the Piklopedia. Now the Piklopedia shows you all of the different creatures in the game. Shows you how many Pikmin you've lost to them. And you can even watch their attack patterns by clicking it, and you can throw a Pikmin carrot, and it'll show you how they eat Pikmin. So this is always really fun to mess around with, and just kind of just mess with the local fauna. But it's not super important. Notably, I want to say that if you're going for full completion of the Piklopedia, fauna also counts. Fauna being plants, for anyone who, I don't know, either hasn't done 6th grade science or doesn't remember because it wasn't very important. Yeah, all the plants count too. So not just pellet posies, but all like the decorative plants. You need to run through them. to get them to count in the Picklepedia. But I think I've padded the time of this. That's not my initial intention, but that's pretty much what I have accomplished, is I've padded the time of this episode long enough. I'm going to go ahead and call it here. So in the next episode, Day 2, we will be returning to the Valley of Repose. And we're actually going to be seeing that new mechanic I talked about. I'll see you then.